Welcome everyone, Dr. Thor here. I did an actual little video on this several years ago, and I want to revisit it. This is really a great training tool, and I may make a mini downloadable version of this where I scan what we need to do, and you can print it out and actually kind of use it. Print it out, cut it out, print it out in color, cut it out, and actually use it. And the only thing you'd need to do is to make the actual pendulum. But this is a quite, and this is from 1957. Quite 65 years old. It's in very good condition. They're very difficult to find. We've had these in the past where I've tried to get some, but keeping inventory of stuff like this is just too cumbersome. A delightful pastime that searches the subconscious. And, of course, this wasn't the hippy-dippy 60s or 70s. This was 1957. And this was made by Happy Hour. I'll drink to that. So it's a really cool little pendulum board. They call it the Psycho board, the Mystic Crystal Ball, which is kind of a ruse, but that was to get people interested. But they had this. This is not really a crystal. I don't think this is crystal at all. I think it's just glass. Doesn't look like, yeah, it looks like it. Basically, this is not crystal. It's glass, just a marble from what I can see. And we'll go into the other things here. One of the things that's really cool on here is a type of pendulum that we may be making or finding if there's a source for something. But you have this board, the Psycho board. And all this is a little bit of molded plastic, nice color, graphics on here are nice. What does your future hold, it says on there. And you've got this interesting pattern of the world, and you've got places here for the ball, for the pendulum that has a ball on it, and of course the crystal balls they call it, and this is where you put yes and no stickers. And, of course, we can ask the sacred pyramid energy. You have a pending question. You want just feedback. Well, ask the mystic pyramid.
The results are sure to satisfy you.
Okay. Another positive one. Okay, so you have this, and, of course, this can be taken out of the box if you wish, and you can use it like this. I think I'll do that for the use of this. And again, you have the crystal ball, which is supposed to go there. At least that's what they call it. The crystal marble. And of course, this is where your pendulum goes, and you put it there. And the crystal ball goes in the other opening. And you have two different discs. One says yes, and one says no. And these are supposed to go up here. But what's interesting is this pendulum here. And I guess anybody could make this. It's just a little stick. And you could paint it like this is. Or you could just get a raw one of this about size. I'm not sure what this size would be. What would you call this? I have no idea. As you see there, it's a stick, and they've made a little groove around it so that it can hold the string properly. And again, I don't know what size. I can't think of this. About half the size of a pencil in terms of its thickness. It has and this is just a piece of thread, and it does seem to be double. You can get a good picture of that. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see it's double stringed. Again, let's see if I can pull it apart a little. I'm assuming everybody can see that. I don't think the knot has anything to do with it either, but let's just show that. I'm not sure that's a special knot. It really shouldn't. It's just holding the string on there. And it's held it for 65 years, so that's a nice knot. And of course, as I said, you have double cord here that goes down to a ball, and that's just a wooden ball as well. And you can see how it separates here. So what happens is the string goes through one end of that ball, the small ball, and out the other side. That's just to be able to hold it on there. This is no energetic problem. This ball itself then goes on the string in general. You'd put that through first, the big red ball, and then the smaller ball would go on there. Or however you hook that up in that way. I'm not sure you need to do it that way. You could just have a string here, go through a ball. I don't think you need two balls here. But that is their design. For whatever reason, because of that. And, you know, what I like, one of the things overlooked with pendulums is the fact that they like to make pendulums like bullets and pointed, etc. I find that those don't work as good as round. Notice this is round. You've got two round objects here. You've got a little stick where you're holding it over. And I find that these kind of pendulums work really well. And they're comfortable because you can grab the handle here and hold it. So you can really hold it good instead of... And then people say, when you're holding a string, you're moving it. So the whole idea is this is not that easy to move. And you'd be quite obvious when you start doing this for this type of thing. So when you're testing energy, and we can test it right here. Let's see. Can we see that over here? Yeah. When you test energy like this, you're holding it over something, kind of in a relaxed, good position so you can feel the energy better. So the whole idea is what you're doing here is the energy coming from this good, bad, or neutral? Of course, it spins clockwise. That's a very positive energy. But it's very, very interesting. And there are specific instructions, and I think that just bores people. You actually find out and program the pendulum and how this board works by holding this over the actual ball here. And it should go from left to right like it's doing. Then you concentrate on the arrows going up. And look at that. Why does that work like that? I'm just thinking about up and down. Let's think again back and forth and see if it changes again. Oops. So going up and down. Now let's go side to side. Why does it do that? I don't know, but this goofy little thing, which is just wood, string, and a couple of them, these are both wooden balls, is super sensitive. Why? Wooden itself is not known to be super sensitive, even though it is a conductor, a bad conductor, but wood is full of liquid. Wood is wet, so it is a conductor. A lot of people don't think about that. So the whole idea is, why does it do that? Now, this is a very interesting pattern. And then you ask the pendulum to point to no. Go to no. Went to no. It's pointing to no. Then you say to it, go to yes. Why the hell is it doing that? Now, I'm not moving it in those directions at all. You know, I'm an expert dowser, so to, I guess you would call pendulum work dowsing. Been doing it for years, very good at it, and I'm always amazed of how pendulums can pick up. But of course, it's going through your whole bioenergy, but the pendulums do matter. So this is a fantastic pendulum, which I may figure out some way to manufacture and sell. We'll see how all that goes. And then, of course, the fun way of using this, ultimately, is these two things right here. I just said go there, and it went there. But what you do is you basically can put these down, mix them up so you don't know what it is, or have somebody else do it, and then put them over here, and then ask a question. And this is how you're basically foretelling the future. Now, you don't know what yes and no is. So when you ask a question, which I can't think of anything yes and no right at the top of my head here, I need to know. Okay. Okay, you get it going, and you ask, will aspirin help bring down my blood pressure? And it's going over to here. It says no. So that was an individual question. Now, aspirin is a blood thinner, but it doesn't necessarily mean it brings down your blood pressure. So it would have to be something that's kind of known to test it. And, of course, you'd have to do that with something known to ask it in general. But it's quite interesting. Of course, this is, nothing done on a show or in front of the camera has no scientific validity, just like the stupid Johnny Carson show with Uri Geller. Means absolutely nothing. These are parties. They're not scientific study stuff. But in general, this is extremely comfortable to handle. I just like everything about it. It seems to move very strongly. And, of course, look at that. We're getting good movement right away, and I'm not moving that at all. It's moving by itself to go up and down over this particular. And these patterns seem to create something. I don't know if that grid creates it or not. Like everything in life, it's kind of mysterious. And I don't know what was the actual design behind this. This company, where's their instructions? Their company is not very well known. The Happy Hour Company, and they made kind of fun games. St. Paul, Minnesota, where they was out of in 1957. So there was some thought that went into this. There was quite a bit of thought that went into this. Quite a nicely designed practice tool here. And it just shows you how people were much more metaphysical in their day. I doubt if you could find anything today that was commercially available that has to do with the use of a pendulum or anything else, even though a lot of games in general, Battleship, one of the things that is so common out there, well, this is really a psychic sensing game, particularly if you use it, if you get past the guessing reality. So it's quite exciting, quite an interesting tool, and certainly something that here's a pendulum that you should be going out there and making, so you have something like this. There are different types of sensing rods out there. We're not talking about just L rods. There are rods that kind of have a I guess you could call it kind of a wiggly stick, and what they can do is go up and down, right and left, circles, etc. These kind of pendulum, I forget what they call them. They're rods of sorts, but they generally are not stiff. They're stiff to a degree, but they can move. I used to use one of those many years ago to sense energy fields. It's a great way to sense energy fields because the way these are set up, and hopefully I'll have one of these someday to show you on here, you can pick up the multi-fields, if something has the perfect balance of 3 fields, using one of these kind of rods that are not, they're not completely hard, so to speak. You can move them, and they kind of wiggle. They wiggle when you use them up and down. They can make circles. They can clockwise, counterclockwise, the front and back. So these are very powerful and potent and great tools to have when you're doing a lot of checking work, particularly if you're doing checking on the human aura system, animals, etc., or checking substances to find out if it has more than one spin in them. Now, the perfect spin of a perfectly balanced item will have clockwise, counterclockwise, and neutral in it. Very rare you find that, but a perfectly balanced item will have that. Now, that's difficult to find with a pendulum, or it takes a little more trouble. When you use one of these type of rods, flexible rods, I guess you'd call them, you can sense that much easier. So this is a very exciting tool, but I wanted to show everybody this. You could make one of these yourselves. Again, this is approximately, where is it? I have my measuring monkey here. Where is it? There we go. It's about 6.5 inches. I'm not sure the length of it matters, but 6.5, 7 inches would work well. It is just wood. This is just a dowel. 1/4 of an inch dowel. This is, again, a wooden dowel, a ball. And, of course, this is a wooden ball. Both of them have holes in them, so you can put the actual line through there. And the line just goes up here and just, as I said, they made a little, see if we can see that again. I think we got a pretty good, so you can tie it in there well, and the knot's there, and that's it. But again, we found that round is the sensing that you need, and that's why our advanced radionic pendulum, which has a point on it, and it also has a round ball. That's the reason why it works so well. So like everything I do, I like to have a synergistic reality of it. So it has the point in case there's something special to that, which I don't think at all. And it also has a ball going up there as well. So it's catching the two types of possible sensing factors that you have there, and gives you the best of both worlds. So all of that goes with that should be fascinating. And we're going to show a lot more pendulums here in the future. Pendulums are a critical skill. Learn to use them. We have a couple of really cool pendulum kits, particularly our Druid Circle, which is actually an old pendulum, very rare vintage type tool that you can learn how to use pendulums in a fun way, to answer questions, to get yes and no's, all of it with a very unique claw pendulum. And this is all very, very rare stuff that is hard to find out there, but it does pop up occasionally. And we have a couple of these, and if you're interested in that, do check that out online. And we only have one left. If you're interested in that, grab it. It's a fantastic tool, and it makes it fun. If you don't make it fun, you'll never do it. And what's nice about all of our tools is that it's also a great way to get people who are less hesitant to do these things, maybe children, because we make it fun. They're going to be interested in doing it. And the sooner you start someone on something, the better. You know, Tiger Woods started playing golf at 5. So we need to keep that in mind. What all goes with that, so that we know what's going on in the reality of these types of things. So the younger you start some person, you open them up to sensing, you open them up to the energies you can't see, the better they will perform later. And the building someone's intuition, their biophysical sensing capacities will give them amazing results in the future. It could save their mind, save them from death. It could also heal them, etc. So, you know, the power of consciousness is, to a certain extent, unlimited. The problem is nobody knows how to turn the switch on to activate those energies, those abilities. So, and if you don't turn that switch on for many, many years, it's stuck in the off position. So you're going to have to kind of push hard on it to flip that switch once it goes, and then you've lost valuable time. So this is something that gets your friends, family, and children involved in. Get them involved in sensing with pendulums. You can find pendulums everywhere. Make your own. There's all sorts of stuff, and we're going to get heavily into this. As I said, we have fun tools you can use to train you. Really cool stuff, and I love cool stuff to work with because it's so boring using so many common average things. Certainly not going to keep the attention of a younger person, and to a large extent not going to keep the attention of anyone, because most people have childlike capacities in general. So these are fun ways. Make it fun, make it interesting, and watch yourself excel. Until next time.